In the last video, we have discussed about the series data structure that is supported by pandas. So we have seen how to create a one-dimensional structure using the series data structure supported by pandas. The major limitation of series is it allows you to create only one-dimensional data structure. That is, you can organize data either as a row or as a column. To organize most of the real-time data, it is required to represent the data in the multi-dimensional format. So at least in the two-dimensional data structure. In this video, we'll discuss another interesting data structure that is supported by pandas, the pandas data frames. A data frame actually allows us to create and organize data in the form of a two-dimensional array or two-dimensional grid. And in the data frame, both the rows and the columns are labeled. So where you have two dimensions, so both the dimensions are labeled in this case. Rows are labeled and also columns are labeled. Now quickly we'll see how to create this two-dimensional data structure using pandas. The pandas data frames can be created either by using the list or by using the NumPy arrays or by passing dictionaries as arguments. Now let's see how we can create an empty data frame first. So you can use the method data frame. You need to notice that D is capital and F is capital here. So pandas has a method with the name data frame, and this data frame method of pandas allows us to create the data frame. When you do not pass anything to this data frame method, then by default it creates an empty data frame. Here you can observe that an empty data frame is created and the created data frame is assigned into the variable df. Hereafter I will be using the variable name as df, where df stands for data frame. So you can notice here there are no columns, the columns are empty and the index values are also empty. Now let's see how I can create the data frame with some elements. So first of all, we'll see how to create a data frame with a single column. It is possible to create the data frames by passing the list or the nested list or even the dictionaries or even the NumPy arrays. So first we'll see how to create the data frame by passing list as an argument. To this data frame method, so we can pass the list. When we pass a single list to this data frame method, then the data frame is more or less similar to the series data structure because this also contains a single column. Here if you observe, so the data frame is created with only one column where each element of the data frame is indexed. Here you can notice that the single column of the data frame df1 is also labeled. Both the rows and columns are by default indexed with integers. So now let's create a data frame with multiple columns. We can use a nested list to create a data frame with multiple columns. In the nested list, every inner list becomes a row in the data frame. Here if you observe, this is the first inner list in the nested list, right? In that case, this becomes the row in the resultant data frame. And similarly, the second element of the nested list is C++82 and that becomes the second row of your data frame. And similarly, the next nested element Java 91, that becomes the third row of the data frame and so on and so forth. So that is how by passing the nested list to the data frame method, we can create the data frame with multiple columns. So as each nested element is having only two elements, we are creating the data frame with two different columns. And if you notice here, each column is indexed with the integer indexing starting with 0. So this is the column with indexing 0 and this is the column with indexing 1. And every row is indexed. It is also possible to change the name of the indexing. So by default, the integer indexing is used for both the rows and columns. So now let's see how we can change the index of the rows. To create the index values for the rows, you can use the argument index and you just pass the index names as a list. So here as there are 4 elements, I am passing 4 different index values as a list so that the rows are indexed with these values. Now you can notice that A, B, C, D are created as the row index values, whereas earlier the index values were 0, 1, 2, 3. Now they are replaced with A, B, C, D. So by passing this index argument, it is possible to index the rows of the data frame. Now how we can index the columns? So is there a way to index the columns also similarly? So of course we have another attribute with the name columns. So columns attribute, if you pass the values, those values will be used as column names. Here, how many columns are there in the data frame df1? There are 2 columns, right? And we need to pass 2 different column names. So to name these columns. So columns is the attribute where I am passing the list of column names as a list, so that the names we are passing are used as titles for the columns. It is also possible to create the data frame from the NumPy array. That is, we can pass the NumPy array also as an argument to the data frame method to create a data frame. So first let's create a NumPy array. Here A is a two-dimensional NumPy array object, and we are passing the NumPy array object A to the data frame method to create the data frame. So now df2 is created as a data frame based on the elements that are taken from the NumPy array. So in case of the NumPy array, the dimensions are not indexed, right? In the case of the data frame, so both the dimensions are indexed. So that's the most advantage of using the data frame. So here you can see the data frame that is created from the NumPy array. It is also possible to create a data frame by passing dictionary as an argument to the data frame method. So now let's create the dictionary first. Here if you observe, D1 is created as a dictionary where name is the first key element, and so the name key is associated with a list of elements. So Ram and Raj are the names of the students, and age is another key where the list of ages are attached as values to the age key value. While creating the data frame, how it treats is, so each key value pair becomes a column in the data frame. So here name becomes the column name by default. Even if you do not set the column name also, the name that you provided as a key value to the dictionary, that becomes the column name, and the values associated with that key value becomes the elements of that column. And similarly, age is another key in the dictionary D1, so that becomes the column name in the data, and the values associated with this age key are 30 and 40, they become the values of that column. So that is how, based on the dictionary also, it is possible to create the data frame. This dictionary D1 contains two elements, right? So each element again contains a key and value pairs. So as there are two elements, one is with the key name and the other one is with the key age, so the data frame is created with two columns. So now let's create another dictionary with the same name D1, which contains three different elements. If you observe here, the element with the key name is one element, and the second element's key is age, and the third element's key is address. Now if you pass this dictionary to the data frame, then a data frame is created with three different columns, as there are three different elements in the dictionary. That is how you can create the data frame based on the list or the NumPy arrays or from the dictionaries also. In these examples that we have discussed so far, so we could create a data frame based on the list or the dictionary or the NumPy array by providing the elements. So manually providing these elements every time is difficult and cumbersome, right? But in real time, we usually have large amounts of data, and how do we pass that data? So Pandas allows us to read the data from Excel files also. So not only from Excel, it allows us to load the data from various types of files. So in some other video, we'll discuss how to load the data into Pandas runtime environment from various types of files. But in this video, we'll confine to reading the data from the Excel file alone. So let's consider this Excel file, so which contains two-dimensional data. So here you can see some sample student data. The first column is a registered number, name, pending backlogs, aggregate, credits, whether he is a hostler or not, gender. And the students' data are available in the Excel file with the name students_data. So in sheet 2 of the same Excel file, in separate sheet 2, the details of the internal marks of the students are given. So you can see here, registered number, week test 1, week test 2, mid exam 1, mid exam. So these are the internal marks of the students. So now let's see how we can load the data from this Excel file. It is very simple to load the data into the Pandas runtime environment from various types of files. So now if you observe, you can use the read_excel method, which supports loading of data or converting of the data into the data frame. So as a data frame, you can load this data that is available in this Excel file using this read_excel method of the Pandas package. This read_excel method takes minimum one argument. So you need to pass the file name. So here you can observe, so the full path name of the student's data file I am passing. So here this is the XLS file. Here you can observe the extension is XLSX, which indicates it's an Excel file, and you need to provide the full path of the file name. And here you can observe that, so the data frame 4, df4 is the variable which stores this data that is loaded from this Excel file as a data frame. So here I am displaying it for you. So you can notice here registered number is stored as the first column, then name, hostler. Of course, there are in between some other columns which are hidden, the hostler, gender. So if you observe, the same details are available in the Excel file. So that simple it is. You can simply load the data from the Excel file or any other type of file also you can use. So we'll discuss that in some other video. And at the end you can see that there are a total of 73 rows on this Excel file and there are 7 columns. Here you can notice that in the Excel file there are some headings, right? So those column headers are used as a column headers for your data frame also. And by default, so from sheet 1 the data is loaded. So say for example, I would like to read the data from some other sheet. So in this Excel sheet, I have 2 different sheets. So from sheet 1 by default, it is reading, right? But I would like to read the data from a specific sheet. In this case, sheet 2. How do I do that? So I can mention that by using the sheet name as an argument to the read Excel method. So here you need to specify the sheet name. So if you would like to read from sheet 1, then you need to mention sheet 1 as the name of the sheet name. So now you can see here, so from the same sheet, sheet 1, I am loading the data into the data frame 4, and similarly in this case I am passing sheet name as sheet 2. So it loads the data from sheet 2 of the Excel file students_data.xlsx. So you can notice that the second sheet contains the data related to the internal marks. You can see the registered number, week test 1, week test 2 marks, mid 1 marks, mid 3 marks. So that is how you can load the data from the Excel file. So not only from single sheet, you can load the data from different sheets also. And now we have seen how to create the data frame, right? So far in this lecture we have seen how to create the data frames using the lists, using the dictionaries or the NumPy arrays. Now I hope you understand what the data frame is, how it helps us to create the two-dimensional grid of data. And in addition, we have seen an interesting thing, how to load the data from the data that is available in the Excel file. That's what we have discussed in this class. I hope you enjoyed it. So in the next class, we'll see some more operations on this data frames. Thank you for watching this video.